Hello and welcome back. Last time we did a techno rumble, but way more on the Digitakt II, and it was kind of this idea of how do we take a single sound and then iterate it and use that to be able to build a whole track from one sound. And I even admitted in that last video that it was a bit of a cheat because using the Digitakt II, you've got a synthesis engine, and the idea of the synthesis engine is you're, taking that. The parameters in there are infinitely configurable, and you can radically shift a sound just with some small changes. So this one here is trying to redeem myself by using the idea of let's use one sample to make a whole track, and as a part of that we'll make a techno rumble and then just copy that track and keep going as we go. So let's go and get into it. Digitakt II, all of these are empty. I've cleared them all. I've just done some basic things with the effects. I've set the time and ping pong delay and set it wide and done a ridiculous amount of decay on the reverb and changed the filters. I'll set my tempo to 111 BPM just because it looks good. Like, what a pretty number that is. Let's stick with that for a little bit, and we can try some faster and slower tempos with this, but you can set this to whatever tempo you like. I'm going to start with my kick on 9. I just do that because then I know that the closest button to me is always going to be my kick. And I know people start at 1s, but I'm starting at 9. You do what you do. Let's choose, I've got this kick boom here, which is a sample from the Kickane, from the Nobular Kickane module. And I've chosen this because it's got a really big long tail on it. So and if you're going to be kind of just pushing one sample to the limits, it's nice to have a bit of something here. But what I want to do, because this is my primary kick, and everything else is going to kind of move around this, I'm going to set this up so very off the bat, I'm going to give it quite a low short decay time. So because what I am going to do is I'm going to go into went straight past it, the compressor, and I'm going to set track 9 to be my source for the side chain, and we'll put it up to 65, and then we can tweak it if things get a little bit crazy. But this is only one element to be able to give the kick enough space in the mix, and we'll talk about that as we go on a little bit further. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to do, which I'm really in love with, especially on a kick, is choosing the equalizer and bringing the gain up and finding a nice little spot for that. Cool, and overdrive please. Let's just get a little bit. And the other thing was maybe just roll off some high. Not too much so it just kind of sits, but just so there's a little bit of that transient left. Happy. So sequence. Cool. Techno rumble. I've got my track selected, track, copy, choose my next track, track, paste. And I'm just going to do this over and over again to do this. And I'm going to start sort of building the rumble. So again, the idea of the rumble is decay, reverb, distortion, smear it, get a bit of, and excuse me for my lack of musical terminology, like a bit of an offset kind of beat, something that'll give it a bit of a kind of groove as it goes through. So we've obviously got that same kick happening in here, although it sounds slightly different. I wonder what that is. So FX, lots more distortion, a whole bunch of delay, a whole bunch of reverb. Good. Filter. So what I do want to do is I want to cut off some of the low end from this, and I can cut off some of the high end as well. But this is one of those other strategies to be able to make sure that our primary kick has got space in the mix. So knowing that our primary kick is going to be really like the lowest frequencies in there, and then doing this just gives everything else, gives that some room in there, and then I'll play with the level as well as it goes. I'm also going to increase the decay, and I could just give it a little bit of attack, because that can be another little strategy in terms of giving this primary kick just a little bit of a gap. Okay, so we should have the sidechain going. Let's have a listen to our rumble. Oh, that's the last thing I need to do, was actually just change the filter. I'm going to go straight to a low pass 4 and drop that down. And the other thing that I mentioned in that other video was about the option of shifting the triggers to give you a different kind of rumble feel. It's kind of good. I feel like I want to just roll off some of those highs on the delays a bit. Cool. Yeah, so like trying this. Trying this. I hope you've got headphones in, just watching this on a phone, because there's no point. Plug your headphones into your phone, you can hear it. So what I am going to do is, like, I like these offsets, but I'm going to keep that for a next track. So I'm just going to run vanilla techno rumble. Let's tweak some effects. Then, you know, you can mix your level to taste. Okay, happy days. So kick, techno rumble sorted. Let's go and further. So I'm on my track. I'm going to use the rumble as my starting point for the next one. So track, copy, paste. But what I'm going to do is try that offset and tweak this a little bit, because now what I want to do is start adding some sort of variation. So like the rumble, the kick and the rumble, they can just kind of sit there without anything kind of really changing or morphing with it. But this one, I'm going to be looking again for things that I can modulate. So I'm just going to kind of tweak around some of these settings and see sort of what comes out. So here we go. So one of the things I might want to try is, what's it going to be like if I pitch it up an octave? Ooh. And then the other thing was, in here, sometimes it's nice to add a bit of hold. Open the filter a bit. Yeah, I mean that's a bit of an obvious. Just make sure I'm giving everything some room, and I want to bring in a little bit more highs into this channel, because it's going to be really acting a bit more like another sort of bass layer to work in conjunction with the others. So let's now I'm going to do low pass for frequency, yes, and I'm going to start with a very, very slow sine wave on that filter. Cool, let's do that. So let's go to another mod. Let's do amp hold time, yes, random, do it on the trigger so it always starts at a different value. Just slow it down a bit, and so we're getting kind of like this pulsing thing that's happening between it. I still feel like it's working better at a... And then it's kind of coming in and out as it goes. That's the last bit of modulation. Let's do resonance on that. Oh, did I go past? No, there it is. And yeah. Get some kind of longer modulation morphing. And I like this because, I mean, later on we'll add kind of working within a single bar, just single 16 steps, and it's not too boring. Okay, so let's go again, but this time I'm going to copy this track. So I'm going back to the original, just because like I've got all the modulation options and going on in here. So just go back to the original. Let's copy that. Let's go to here and let's go paste. And the idea for this one is I'm going to try and make a snare out of a kick drum. Oh my God, how am I going to do that? Okay. Well, obvious steps are, let's sample reduce it ridiculously. Let's change this to a multi-mode, yes, and make this a high pass and get this into here. And I've got to open that up. And, you know, like that's, oh, sorry. Huh. Good. This is something that I'm going to do so that each time it hits, I don't know, that's kind of cool. Let's just sequence that, and what I want to do is drop the probability so it's not happening all the time. And then I want to go to here and I want to change the decay time, yes, and I want to set it to random, slow it down, set it to only when it triggers, maybe not too much. Let's try. See, there's something cool about just using that simple thing. It's kind of like, you know, having too many cracked plugins on your laptop. You never use them all, but having one or two that you've bought, you know, one sample we can do here. Okay, good. I'm rambling, sorry. I'm going to take that. And push that a little bit further, because I'm going to copy that and hit this one, paste that, and let's go hi-hat. So very, very short. Let's get some. And, ooh, maybe. It's kind of, oh, this will do it. I need to just get rid of, oh, it's only that, that's okay. Let's just give that a little bit more. And I'm going to Euclidean this one, 13. Yeah. So this is fun. Hold, trig, yes, re-trig. Okay, so just listen to that. So we'll just hit this one, we'll just do like a little, that's good. Okay, that's working. So that's cool. And so next step is function yes per track. And I'm gonna just do reset to infinite, and you'll see why for the next iteration that we do of this sound. But I was going to make this 64 and say yes, and so that means I just need to go into sequencer. Let's set that at like 55. And what's cool is because I put re-trigger on this one, that re-trigger trig is now going to be spread out across the 4 bars. Days. Okay, cool. We're almost done. Well, no, we're not. We're going to do two more tracks. Try and keep this to half an hour. We'll see how we go. Okay, so we've just done 5 tracks from the same sample. This is kind of like my kit. So we're in there. What we're going to do up here is take that sample and make it a bit of a synth. So let's start with a bass line. They're too processed. Okay, so let's just start there. Track copy here, paste. First thing I need to do is just change that filter. Low pass 4 is what we want. Yes, please. Just turn that resonance down and open it up for the moment. Because the other thing that I'm going to do with this is go function machine, oh sorry, not there, here, and change this to grid. Yes, and how many grids do I want? That's too many. Let's go with 8. And then the other thing that I was going to do was function on here and change this down to 5 steps. And again, EasyBot, thank you, because I never understood why. You'd set it to 5, but it would always only reset after 16. But when you set reset to infinite, now it'll just kind of cycle through these 5 steps. Again, probably should have read the manual. So if I watch this, see, it's good. So we're going to make a little bass line out of this. Hit a trig. I don't want to start with the first slice. I want to actually make this slice 2. Yes, please. And I'm just going to copy that and paste that, and paste that, and paste that, and paste that. But then this one, I'm going to make that 3. Let's make that 4. Like it'll go back down. We can leave that one as 2, and we'll make that as 3. And the other thing I was going to do is just mute this stuff for a second so we can listen to this. Cool. This. And we'll try this. kind of feel like with this, a track progression would be probably muting this one and letting this bass go for a while, and then potentially swapping them out. Okay, good. One last thing. Let's take this one again, track copy, and this one, and paste. Now, a drone, a weird kind of texture drone that's going to go over the top of everything. And I'm going to start with, let's just change the filter to a low pass 4. Ooh, I think we'll do a comb. Yeah, we have to. Okay, now this one is going to be setting this to loop, forwards, backwards, whatever you want to do. Find a spot, take the length down, change the amp as a good start, that'd be good. Let's, all right. Love morphing waveforms. Like in terms of a synthesizer, if I'm ever going to buy a synthesizer, it's always looking at, does it at the very base level have pulse width modulation? If it has pulse width modulation across multiple waveforms, great. If it's got wave shape morphing, awesome. If it's got wavetables, yes. And I've been playing a bit in the Digitakt with the single cycle waveforms, which kind of leave me feeling a bit dry because there's not, if you start to try and get kind of pulse width modulation or modulate the start and the end of them, they kind of drift out of tune, which is nice in its own way. And the wavetables as well have been really fun, and you know, even though they're kind of clicky going through, but this process, even though this is completely out of tune and will be fairly discordant, that's okay. I'm happy with that. But just modulating the start parameter of the sample just a tiny little bit and really slowly is definitely my happy place. Filter, and yeah, we want that going slow, don't we? Slow changes and a fair bit. Okay, good. Yes, yes, yes. No, yes. Let's go to like 60 steps. Let's do this where we're doing that. Yes, and then let's make this so that it has a little bit of probability so it's not playing all the time. Okay. Is everything unmuted? Yeah, except for that one. Cool, let's go. And then for some really kind of weird stuffer-uppery, let's just go into the amp and pan this way. And then I'm going track copy, and I'm hitting here, I'm going track paste. And then here I'm going to put that on the other way. I'm going to flip that and just change the speed of that slightly and the speed of that slightly, and the speed of my sample start slightly. And if I come back to here and hit this and copy that trig, let's drop the volume and then hit and then go hit paste. And let's drop into that. There you go. Thanks very much. I went over my 30 minutes. It's nice to have goals, but it's also okay if you don't ever meet them. Thanks very much for watching. I hope that was fun kind of going through that process, but all with one sample. Push your rumbles. Bye.